This is podcast number three for alttabme.com. That is our website and our community. We haven't given up. No, we're still here. We are still here. We'll take your comments and we'll take your negativity and your positivity and we'll push it all into one and we'll shit out an awesome podcast next week. I might have just done that this week right now, but
podcast is not shit.
Yeah.
It might be a little. Anyway, so alttabme.com presenting podcast number 3. We are going to be talking about World v World today in Guild Wars 2. Also, we still have a couple spots left, not many. We're almost at cap for our Guild Arcanix. So if you'd like to apply, please go to alttabme.com and apply. Make sure to take some time with your application as we read through every single one of them and we take them pretty seriously. So, yeah, I think that covers it for plugging and talking about what we're all about. So why don't we just jump right into this shit?
Cool.
So World v World v World. First of all, let's just talk about that for a second. World v World v World. ArenaNet doesn't want us to call it that.
Takes too long to say.
They don't want us to call it that. They've said it on their Twitter. They've said it on their website. They want us to call it World versus World because that is an encompassment of what it is. You're basically one world fighting against other worlds. Although they were 2, so that's why you fight worlds. 3 worlds total. So that's why you, 1, and then another. So that's why people did World v World v World. But so if you don't want to say the whole thing, you can say World v World.
Yep, and no dub v dub.
Yeah, dub.
No, don't say that.
No dub v dub.
I don't get
Terrible.
that. That's
Terrible.
weird. Don't bash people. That's not nice.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Oh, we're not bashing people. We're just saying don't call it dub.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's an odd term for it.
All right.
Dub v dub.
So, we actually I want to start out with some of the questions that we got from last week. As you know, we have 2 beta keys to give away. One of those keys we're about to give away to someone because they entered our contest, which I should probably tell you about. So in order to win a beta key for this week, what you need to do is you're going to need to go into the forum topic on alttabme.com, and you're going to have to post in the podcast for beta key giveaway topic what you think podcast 5 should be about. Number 4 is going to be SPVP. We decided to split that from World v World into SPVP. But we'd like to hear what you'd like to hear for podcast number 5. So if your choice of what you want to hear is picked for podcast number 5, which will be before beta weekend number 3, we will give you a beta key so you can join us. Simple as that. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to read the question of the person who posted for the beta key of last week, because last week we were asking for questions that you'd like to hear answered about World v World. And the winning question was from Ziffer. I'm not really sure how to pronounce that. It's Xiypher, Ziffer. And his question was, will PvP be a viable form of character progression, such as in WoW, where you get enough experience and currency to progress through the PvE leveling system to max level? Additionally, will it be an option to only PvP, and will your progression in PvP be given access to the later parts of PvE as well as better PvE gear? So the reason we picked this is because it has a very WoW mindset to it. And I like that because we can we can tell people that are, very ingrained in WoW. You've played the game for 6, 7, maybe more years.
6, 7 years, yeah.
So
yeah.
I mean,
They're coming up on their 8th birthday now.
Yeah.
I think.
They just had it back in November, I think.
Yeah. It's a long time.
Anyways, continue.
Anyway, so so it's like you're very ingrained in your thoughts and how PvP works, where you're always looking for that new piece of gear. Sometimes you have to PvE to get good gear. You can jump into World v World day 1 of playing within 2 seconds. You have to get through your first little personal story intro, which takes about 5 to 10 minutes max. Once you're done with that and you're pushed into the world, you can jump right into World v. World, and you can start fighting. I wouldn't recommend that. When you first start the game, none of your weapon skills are unlocked, and you unlock them by fighting different monsters in the world or by fighting players. However, monsters die quicker, and it levels per kill faster. So if you're fighting players, it's going to take you a lot longer to kill a player when you're only spamming number 1 or number 2 on a 5-slot bar than if you were in the world and you were fighting monsters that were your level, easier to kill, and not dodging every attack you were making. So what I would highly recommend is go into PvE, level up all your weapon skills. It's a great way to learn your weapon skills too. And once you're done with that, jump right into World v. World, grab one of each weapon, and bam, leveled up to 80 automatically, and you can fight and play, get gold, get rewards, and level up to 80 all the way from there. So it actually
From
works.
there, I do want to point out the dynamic event system is the major way to level. In World v. World, you do have a lot of dynamic events, but sometimes, if you're at a stalemate, you're getting stalled in your leveling progression. There isn't that stall in PvE. You can continually level. So if you're on a great winning team, it can be more effective than PvE. If you're on a stall team or a losing team, it may not be the quickest way. It will still progress, but it's a very fine-tuned balance. It depends. The more you put into it, the better your situation's going to be. That's really the best way you can do it. You can't say which way is better, because they're both good, and hopefully you can find your niche on which is actually faster or more efficient for you.
Yep. I also want to point out too that you could jump in right after you do your intro and you unlock some weapon skills, or but it might be advisable to wait till you hit about level 7, then you unlock weapon swap. So then you can. Yeah. So then you can use multiple weapon kits or sets, excuse me, and be a little bit more effective while you're running around in World v. World. So. Yeah.
Mr. Engineer with his kits.
Unless you're an elementalist, in which case you don't have any weapon kits, but you'll have all your attunements by that point, I think.
Well, you should actually. I think the longest class or profession, to level up and unlock all of your weapon skills would be an elementalist, because you have to switch attunements and weapons, and each weapon has 5 attunements, and each attunement has 5 skills. So that's 4
attunements.
Sorry, 4 attunements.
4 attunements, 5 skills.
And 5 skills, and so you're going to be
20 skills.
Yeah. So you might want to do that first.
Yeah.
I mean, unless all you want is the staff's rain of fire, which makes sense. You're going into PvP. That's all you really want. You see lots of guys
Amazing.
So.
Yeah. Amazing skill.
Anyway, so I think that yes, the game is not balanced around your gear. We've said it a million times before, and we're going to say it again. The game is not balanced around your gear. You can progress through PvP, you can progress through PvE, but it's about enjoying the content in front of you. It is not about, oh my god, I need that new piece of gear. It might be about, holy crap, that sword looks so epic, I want it right now, but that's it. When it comes to PvP and PvE, they are completely separated in the way that your gear works, and they're both meant to be played, not to be farmed, so to say.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
So, but thank you, Zypher.
That's awesome.
We really appreciate your question, and I hope we cleared that up for you. And I need you to message me, Triage, on the forums within the next 5 days to claim your beta key. That beta key, as a reminder, gives you. I'm going to read this, sorry, because I can never remember. The beta key includes the head start, the bonus items. If you activate it with the retail code, you get the 5-day. You get 5 days of, within 5 days of launch. You get the 3-day head start. So it's not just one of those random I can get into the Beta Weekend 3 keys. This is a legit beta key that will carry over if you activate it with a registered copy of the game.
So it's like a pre-order key.
It's a pre-order key.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Key.
Yeah.
That's even better than I thought it was. I thought it was just Beta Weekend.
No, it's not just Beta Weekend.
Yeah, it's not like all the mass giveaways that you've seen. These are better. These are good.
And they're from us.
Premium.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, which makes them more awesome, of course.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I feel like I want to start out with impressions of World v. World, and then we'll go from there. So, Damien, you're our new guy here. We brought you in because you put a lot of time into World v. World, and he's new to the guild, and we wanted to introduce him. And you're going to see a lot of our guildmates coming on here because we're a happy family. Or it might be because he has an accent, and we thought the girls might like it, but whatever.
But that's if I pull on the Irish accent.
Oh yeah, it's true. So so let me preface this. I'd like you to tell us about your World v. World experience when you first got into the game. And I'd like you to do it in an Irish accent. Thank you.
Right, and so with the World v. World experience, I didn't go into it straight away. I just spent a lot of time doing the PvE for quite some time. And you guys are loving this, I can tell. But the PvE was really cool, and then I jumped into the World v. World. And I think the mistake I made at the start was running around by myself, just trying to do stuff, and it doesn't work. You can't do that. It's like in-game content in most MMOs. You can't do it. You can't do it alone. So as soon as I sort of found myself a group of people to run around with and just to bash some heads in, it became really enjoyable. I played the first two beta weekends as an elementalist, so I was sort of like a living artillery, just running around raining fire on people's heads and being otherwise crazy. Summoning golems and doing all sorts of crazy stuff. Assaulting keeps was probably... I found that, for me, was my least fun thing, but doing things like attacking supply depots and protecting my supply lines and doing the neutral camps of monsters and things was always really cool. I find that really enjoyable.
So I think that's one of the important things to pick up is that World v. World sounds like this giant epic battle where you're attacking keeps, you're attacking castles, but nobody ever mentions the supply camps. Nobody ever mentions the small guerrilla warfare that you can do. I know that either Bruce or John, one of you guys had some really good experience with that. Care to fill us in? Go ahead, Bruce.
For the supply keeps, I used to go around with just me and a couple buddies. We weren't really trying to follow the large zerg. We were specifically staying a small team to do these small tasks. One of the big advantages in World v. World is the supply utility and having the supplies that builds all the stuff in the game, and it's kind of like the building currency. But how you control the supplies is by controlling the supply depots. If, say, you have all the keeps and you have all the territory, but you don't have those supply depots, your defending of those keeps is going to be very difficult and very limited. So what we were doing, we were literally cutting down the supply trails, because what happens is you have a supply keep, you have a keep. A caravan goes from the supply depot all the way to the keep, and then you get larger amount of supplies that you can use on your repairs and all your weapon builds. If you cut off that lifeline, you're leaving them pretty much at the end of their rope.
Stranded.
It's only a matter of time. Yeah, stranded. It's only a matter of time. So the three of us were just cutting down these supply camps, and eventually that would help us get the keep faster because they couldn't defend themselves as easily.
Well, I think it's also cool to note is that if you're not in a big group, like let's say you're not in Arcanix at alltabme.com, the guild that's amazing and that you should apply to, then, you might be running around with like 2 or 3 of your friends, and that's a viable thing to do. You can run around with 2 or 3 of your friends as long as you're attacking their supply camps and stuff like that. You are affecting the battle incredibly, because while that tower siege is happening, let's say your guys are pushing that tower, wailing on the walls, building catapults, building, that stuff. And Well, basically, they're
crazy.
using all their supplies that they can to rebuild the walls. They are trying to build defenses, and if all of a sudden they run out of supplies, guess who wins? Automatically, you win.
It's a matter of time then.
So, I think that's important, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun to do guerrilla warfare, and also it's a lot of fun to be in a giant zerg.
Man.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Go back on that.
go ahead.
I think the other thing you need to mention is the sort of the neutral camps that exist in the various maps. You know, that can give you like the ogre camp in the Eternal Battlegrounds, the middle. That they send when you control it, they send out patrols of ogres that need sort of 5-10 people to down one, and they go out in pairs. You know, so that can change the game if you control those camps. I remember we had a battle that went in the first beta weekend, we had a battle that went for like 40 minutes, just trying to, like, we controlled it, and then they tried to take it off us, and there was just this big to and fro of us trying to control this camp. And that's, you know, that was really cool. That wasn't even a keep. We weren't defending anything except for this neutral camp.
Yeah, that also opens up vendors inside those camps too, just as an easier place to repair and sort of like a jump-off point to attack nearby keeps
sometimes
and things like that.
waypoints and stuff,
Yeah, that's crucial right there. I mean, it may seem like something really insignificant, just a general vendor, but to be able to repair your gear or, you know, buy and sell, they usually have blueprints for siege weapons. To be able to get that on the fly right there is key.
Yeah.
So just so people know, we are jumping. Obviously, we're jumping all over the place, and we're kind of assuming at this point, because we're talking about World v World, you know a little bit about it. I feel as though our podcasts are getting to the point where we can talk a little bit more in depth without doing a big summary. But if you know nothing about it, you go into the thing called Heart of the Mists. You go through a portal. You are then faced with four portals. Sorry.
Four.
Oh yeah, 4 portals. One for each person. You have a red team, green team, and a blue team. And then there's the middle ground. Yeah. That middle ground is where basically everybody starts to fight once that they have either defended or attacked their area. So you pick a place that you want to go to. There's towers, there's keeps, and there's supply depots, as well as NPC camps. So now you've got that overlay. So you can choose to defend or attack a tower. You can choose to defend or attack a keep. You can choose to attack or defend one of the supply depots, or you can go and try to take some of the NPC areas, or you can go to the NPC areas and buy cool shit if you already own it. And then the other generalized things about it are basically, I think that's really it. Anything else?
That's the main points.
Depending on how much you own and specifically what you own, you gain so many points every 5 minutes. Now, when you hit these certain brackets, your server actually gets these little power-ups all across your entire world, in World v World and in the entire continent of Tyria. What happens is, when you're continually over these 2-week battles, I just want to throw, we didn't say that, 2 weeks these things last between the 3 servers. You're going to get a lot of bonuses if you have a strong server. If you're on a lower server, you'll get some bonuses, don't get me wrong. Even if you're losing, you're still going to win and have some advantage. But, these server bonuses, it's like 1% damage overall, 1% health, 2% gathering bonus. I mean, and they stack on top of each other as they go through the whole bracket. They start again and go right up again. So that's kind of the reward for World v World. Just one of the server rewards for building your community and working with your server. You don't want to just be that bum. You want to help. I mean, get that camaraderie.
And then every 2 weeks the brackets actually change based on how well your server's doing, etc. So you don't really have to worry if your server has a bad 2 weeks or whatever. I don't know, everybody's on vacation or something. the winning servers will move up in a bracket and they'll fight other winning servers. So, and you'll stay with someone that's sort of matched to your potential as a server. So you have a chance to be sort of evenly matched and not fighting like this Uber server that's like, you know, just rolling everything with giant guilds. They're going to go on and fight another server like, exactly. They're going to go over and find another server like that with Uber guilds, and they're going to sort of be evenly matched, which is going to make for great, you know, battles over the 2 weeks that you're duking it out in over the map. So
yeah, and just remember, this balancing is not going to be immediate. This will take a little bit of time. I'm guessing probably about 2 months in, all the balancing should be just about right. Only because these battles take so long. But just, you know, don't get discouraged in the first 2 weeks if you're getting you know rammed kind of hard. Just take a deep breath, work towards building a strategy with, you know, your small groups, your large groups, your zergs, and hopefully you can learn in these experiences. So the next week, if you know you come off of a brutal defeat, hopefully you'll be stronger for the next week and prepare and know what you're doing and be, you know, better. You know, that's kind of our end goal. You always want to get better if you're playing something for this long, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
and I mean, if you played the beta weekends, you'll know that they do the balancing really well. I mean, I know from my beta server, we got smashed on. They only last, the beta weekends last for 60 hours. So I mean, they only give you a certain period of time with each server. So we got smashed on one set, and then the next set we went to, suddenly it was more even, and there was a real to and fro in the competition, and that second set of battles became so much more enjoyable than the first set because there was that even nature to it. So don't lose hope in it if you're getting smashed really early.
Exactly, especially near release, because everything's going to be in fluctuation. I mean, you're going to have a whole large amount of people filling into different servers and things, so it's going to take some time to even out there. So just stick with it.
Yeah.
It's
So,
Oh, yeah.
so I've heard a lot about World v World. The idea that you can, a lot of people are beating on walls and stuff like that. From my experience, people naturally just start attacking the walls, or the gates. They just, the minute they get to a keep, they're like, spam the gate with everything you have, and you see this gate which has like this little life bar going slowly. That's about how much it moves in an hour. So let's talk about. That's what I was going to say. Let us talk about siege weaponry. That is what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Oh my god.
There it is.
This
So-
stuff is fun. Okay, so what you actually have a few different things available. You have to buy blueprints and go back to the supplies and use gold. Gold is a currency. You will be spending a lot of gold if you want to get some of this stuff. You have the arrow carts, the ballistas, the catapults, the fire rams, the siege golems. You got the trebuchets, cannons, mortars, boiling pots of oil. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, and they all have different purposes. And let me tell you this. They're a hell of a lot of fun to use. It's
Oh my god, the siege golem.
Yeah, it's not like I'm just going back to Wintergrass for a second. It's not like those freaking puny cannons that sit there and oh my god, they're dead. Oh my god, now we're getting wrecked or whatever. But these things, you can plant them wherever you want. You have to have a lot of supplies to build them, and you do have to use the gold to buy the blueprints themselves. But they all serve a niche. Like the arrow carts are better versus players, and use the fire ram, the flame ram for the walls and all that stuff. But these are the things you need to take over a keep or a tower. You cannot just sit there and spam a wall and wait 45 minutes and hopefully no one will show up. This stuff will make it cut it down to 3 minutes and 5 minutes. It cuts down time drastically, and they're so effective.
I tell you, when you got a siege golem knocking on the door of your outpost, you start packing it. Oh god, we're gonna lose this.
Well, it's funny too because I've heard a lot of people asking about are siege golems worth it? Should I use a siege golem? Are they too expensive? They don't seem to do much. And to be honest, if you get a siege golem up to a door, that thing rips through it so fast. It may not be
Yeah.
able to kill all the players,
Yeah.
but oh man, it just tears through
You'll tear
stuff.
off
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason why it's expensive.
Yeah,
And it's because it
And
just
they're not
destroys
very durable
doors.
either. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It's the most expensive siege weapon, I believe, that you can buy.
Yeah.
It's the most expensive out of all of them. And
Yep.
once you get it up to that gate, man, you just basically Falcon punch the gate down, and it's done. I mean, it's over.
Yeah.
Unless they
Yeah.
focus
Yeah.
fire that thing, you're pretty much getting through there. So
Yeah.
it's pretty sweet.
I mean, if you've played strategy games like Total War and stuff, you'll that idea of attacking people's siege weapons to stop them from destroying your stuff is really viable too, because then they've got to protect their catapults and their trebuchets and all that sort of thing, so that they can actually break through that wall quicker. But if you're going out there and you're raiding those sort of lightly defended siege weapons, you're going to cause some problems.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We had a lot of that going on actually last weekend. We had a lot of trebuchet
Yeah.
wars. I'm sure Tristan remembers trying to set up stuff over and over again. We were getting bombarded back and forth, and it was just you had your player war like at the gate and on the walls, and then you had the trebuchets going back and forth, just trying to kill each other first, so they could shoot the
Yeah.
players down there. It was pretty crazy. So
And there's nothing more frustrating than building the siege weapon that took you gold and time to put up, and then having it destroyed
And
in
supply.
10 seconds.
Oh god.
Oh my god,
It's-
yeah.
yeah.
It's like they see you building
Yeah.
it, and they will come attack you. You really do have to
Yeah.
defend these things.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
there's nothing more gut-wrenching than seeing it destroyed. It's like,
yeah.
But how awesome is that?
I think it was amazing. I mean,
Yeah.
the most amazing part to me about World v World was not the technical aspects of it. It wasn't the, to me it was coming up on this keep that I didn't know wasn't ours. And I'm just running. I'm like, I was a guardian at the time. I was like, I'm going to go protect some motherfuckers, and I'm like, woo. And then all of a sudden I hear, and I look up and I'm like, holy shit. Like 4 flaming balls of fire just launched over my head, and I'm like, where did that come from? And then I see them hit the walls of this keep, and I'm like, oh, and I'm like running. I'm like, oh shit, I hope it's mine. So I run, and there's like giant mass people. They're all busy, and there's smoke and flames, and all so much. I just run into the keep, and I'm like, yes, it's mine. And I get up on the walls, and I look out, and I just see 4 more of those fireballs. They hit me, and I'm blah. And I was like, damn it.
yeah.
Trebuchets
man.
are brutal. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We talked about it before in our other podcasts, but I mean, it continues here. It's just the epic scale of the game, like watching that stuff fly over your head. You're fighting people, shooting at people up at the walls and everything, and they're shooting down at you. And you're trying to get a siege ram to the door and everything. It's just epic. I mean, the scale is just awesome.
I think they really nailed the sense of scope that you get
Definitely.
Yeah.
in World v World, even in PvE as well. Doing like, I'm doing a level 5 thing, but you'll do something, you're like, wow, that's massive and awesome and amazing.
Yeah.
So I think they
thing-
really nailed that.
I do want to throw the numbers game out there super quick. There are the 4 continents. Each continent allows 500 people. You have 133, 134 for each server. So this is a 2,000 person battle. It goes from this huge scale, but then there's so many places where you can have the 2-person party actually helping out, and then you can have 100 versus 100 siege, a massive weaponry, zerging, things exploding, and you can find everything you want in World v World on the aspect of scale. It's awesome. Love it.
The other important thing is, which I think we forgot a few times as a server almost, is that it's a 3-way battle. So we'd be sieging a keep and be like, oh, we're going to get through here, we're almost in there, and all of a sudden, the other server shows up with their whole army, and we pretty much get pinchered, and we're done. And you're like, wait a minute, I totally forgot about those guys. Like, blue invaders out of nowhere. So you got to remember that it's actually a total 3-way war. You're not just fighting, one side, so it gets pretty hairy. Exactly.
Yeah, it was interesting because in that keep battle I was talking about, we were defending against the blue and the red team, and we just saw them coming in, and then clashing, and then we would push out because they would clash, and it was interesting to watch a wall fall, and red push through, and then blue come up around them, and then us push up. It was like, what is happening? Which I think brings up a good point. Latency. Does WvWvW lag? That's the question. And you know what? I upgraded my computer to something pretty insane, and now I don't get FPS lag. However, on my old machine and from the videos I've seen, the FPS lag is still there when the big group battles happen. So how are they going to approach that? There's games like PlanetSide 2 that have hundreds and hundreds of people on the battlefield at once, and it works. So there's got to be a way. But right now I couldn't 100% back them up and be like, yeah, there's no lag, it's amazing.
Yeah, well,
go ahead.
Oh.
On my end, I had to cut down my settings a little bit. My computer is a couple generations older, but when I cut down all the graphics and everything, it's not going to be pretty like some of you guys really like your pretty, but when I cut that down, I didn't have really any problems. I was still pulling 35, 40 frames per second, and I'm talking, with 150 people, that was still good. I'd get random disconnects, but I think that's more of a software issue on my part. I think I had a funky installation. I'm not going to get into my disconnects. Anyways, go.
I didn't have any issues either. I do turn down my settings just to get better frame rate in terms of video. But overall, it's not as bad as I guess I thought it would be, and they are optimizing everything and stuff, so it seems to be getting a little bit better over the last couple of weekends.
It's not optimized at the moment at all, and I mean it's CPU gated. So if you go into your task manager settings and you change the game to be high priority for your CPU, you'll actually lose a lot of latency from your FPS. So that I did that, and that changed it for me quite a bit. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's good to hear that at least some of you have been having some success with turning down settings and being able to run it. I know me personally, I like to have everything jacked to the max. And it was nice that it will run on, if you have the top of the line machine, it will run and it will be awesome. But if you do not have the top of the line machine right now, you're going to experience a little bit of what are you pointing at? Yourself. If you're Bruce, you will crash every 5 seconds and leave me all alone to fight zergs of people. So
but at least it'll be pretty when you die.
Right?
Exactly.
So what about, let's talk about characters and how, like your class and how it interacts with World v World. Are there viable specs that you just do for World v World? For instance, the Guardian, can the Guardian get on a wall and rain massive fire down on people that are coming, or is he only good at attacking, or is he only good at jumping down and being the martyr that defends but then dies? I mean, I'm just making that as an example because he's a very melee class. So what are your thoughts on that? And I think Damien, you had the most experience with the Guardian. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I had trouble with the Guardian in World v Worlds. Certainly defending. Like if you're in a keep and you're defending, because you don't have the same range options that the other classes do, and they fixed that between the first and the second weekends in giving the Guardian more range in order to make having that ranged weapon switch a viable option, at least somewhat. I still don't think it's enough. So, I mean, with the Guardian, the fun came from running around and doing other things, as opposed to just standing on keep walls and being like, well, I can't really hit stuff because everything's too far away. I mean, of course, if you've got things like keeps with siege weapons, or you've got friends that build siege weapons, or a great one is like the Elementalist. If the Elementalist uses that Frostbow utility, they can give it to you, and then you've got a 1200 range weapon that you can just hammer people with, and that's really nice. that you've got that ability to just go, oh, okay, well, that guy's over there and he's trying to help me out, so well, I'm an elementalist, bam, here, have this weapon that'll help you. Cool, and then you can go and you can be a part of that and feel useful.
See, I think a lot of people got upset about the fact that without, like, an elementalist dropping a bow or without an engineer dropping a mortar, what do you do as a melee class?
Yeah, and I think because they're the only class that don't have a ranged weapon, I mean, they've got the Scepter, which is 900 range, but it's not good enough for the wall of a keep, because half the time they can sit outside your range, especially if you're an elementalist with a staff, and just hammer your walls, and you can't touch them. You've got to go out there, and you can't go out there alone because you'll die in about 2 seconds. So I found myself doing other things like defending supply lines and things like that. As Bruce said, with the whole idea of going out and attacking these supply lines to cut off your resources, being the guy who's out there stopping you from doing that, because I'm out there with the NPC guards and with a friend or two, so you come and attack us, and we go, oh, we're ready for you. And then suddenly you've got this whole little skirmish going on, and we're fighting you off, and you're trying to kill. Yeah, so that became much more fun instead of just standing on the wall of the keep going, I'm pretty useless unless someone gives me a weapon.
See, I think there's, to me, I like that idea. I agree with people that say that they should be able to do everything, because that's how ArenaNet toted it, is that you can do everything. And as a Guardian, when I played it, yes, you can attack off the walls. Are you as useful as, say, an elementalist? No. It's just how it works. But one of the important things to think about is that I think that it's good that classes are somewhat forced to do different things, because then, if every class had Rain of Fire, nobody would get off the walls.
Exactly.
I wouldn't. If I had Rain of Fire, I'd be like, let's just do this.
Oh, hell no.
So the fact that you're the fact that you're more important if you jump down and lead a charge helps to get those people casting Rain of Fire to be like, oh, I should probably join them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it forces you to go get supplies. Yeah, support.
In your charge.
Yeah, well, that's what I had to do as an engineer. I mean, I have the mortar elite skill, which I haven't actually tried yet, unfortunately, but that's one thing I can do on the wall. What I tended to do on the wall was just steer towards support and throw out heals and stuff for everybody on the wall, because while you're standing on the edge trying to throw spells down there as an elementalist and stuff, they're targeting the tops of the walls and trying to hit you with their AoE as well. So I was just trying to throw out heals and help and buff everybody on the walls, and that's basically what I did and keep defense from, unless there was a siege weapon open. For the most part, I just ran around and tried to make sure everybody was kind of topped off with some heals, maybe a buff here and there, just to kind of keep everybody going and defending the gate. So I just played like pure support as the engineer.
I think that's
the other thing is that. Well, one last thing. The last thing that everyone can do is that they can still go get the supplies and defend the walls with rebuilding the walls.
Yeah,
there are some mechanics that you can always do.
Repair stuff. Build new defenses.
Building
so just
siege
remember
weapons,
that
exactly.
Everyone may not have the ability to attack efficiently, but everyone has the ability to defend efficiently. So that's a very big aspect of World v. World.
There are a couple things that I'd like to see added, though, with the supplies and how the supplies have such a big impact. Like, you can stop the supplies from getting there, but I want to see a feature where if you bust down their wall, and let's say they're going to try to rebuild it as fast as they can, you can send a swarm of guys in there and steal some of their supplies. So if they do rebuild that wall because they're already carrying the supplies, that you at least get an advantage where they're not just going, they'll break down the wall, tink, 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 done. I want to be able to go in there, do something helpful, and then, let's say it's a multi-tiered keep, you can now use their supplies to build your siege weapons. How cool would that be?
Yeah, inside there,
That
would
be
cool. That'd be awesome.
Because I specifically remember, last beta weekend, towards the end, we actually destroyed the wall right near the supply depot, and we would have been able to just grab all the supplies if the mechanic was there for it. And we would have had so much more supplies to build up our siege weapons off on this hill that we were sieging the keep with. So, I mean, that would have been pretty cool. The other thing is, I think I think the walls were kind of bugged. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
think
kind of
so.
noticed it. That as soon as they started repairing it, like the first hit they dropped, the wall just came back up and you couldn't go through it. I want to see something where they have to get to a certain health point on the wall before it comes back up and you can't breach it. Because you get like 2 people through there, and then all of a sudden someone would come over and hit it once, and the wall would be back up. And even if it had a sliver of health, and you wouldn't be able to get through, and you have a squad trapped in there, and they're done. They're just going to get nuked. So, I mean, there goes your squad, and it's just useless to try to get through there because they kept, auto-repairing it or whatever. So, hopefully that's a bug, and it'll get fixed before August. So.
Right. And another thing with the supplies, everyone can hold a maximum of 10 supplies. You can leave the game, you can die, you can do whatever you want. Those supplies aren't going anywhere. I kind of wish they had some kind of almost like a durability loss with the amount of supplies you have. Like if you died, you lost 2 supplies or 3 supplies out of the 10.
Yeah.
So that way, it wasn't, you have to use these supplies in order to get rid of them. I wish they had some kind of supply reduction loss or penalty depending on
maybe if you drop them, like if you die or so you drop some of them or whatever.
Right. So that would be a nice mechanic if they had like just like with the engineer drop package, how they have the med packs on the ground. If they had like a supply drop or something like that for everyone that, or maybe in the loot bags, if the loot bags maybe dropped.
That would be cool.
That'd
be sweet.
Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
That's something.
That's the other thing. When you're killing people, in World v World, they can actually drop loot. My issue with that is that I think that loot should automatically go in your bag. If you're on a cannon,
that would make it so much
if you're
easier.
on a cannon, let me just explain this because I see Bruce disagrees with me. But let me just explain my point here. If you're on a cannon or a siege weapon of some sort, and you are defending and doing it well, and you're the only thing keeping this keep alive, why the hell would they make a mechanic where for you to get rewarded for what you've just done, you have to get off that cannon, run into the battle, go tap some stupid bags that are shining on the ground, and then run back up and hope that someone else didn't take that cannon? Go ahead, Bruce. Try to go that way.
Well, actually, I'm just going off of your theory of full immersion in the game and how it's kind of the novelty of, hey, you killed this guy, you're going to pick his body. I thought it was the immersion factor that you really enjoyed about this game, is what you really actually fight about for it, that it wasn't just magically in your
Can I
bags,
mute people on this? Can I just...
Bam. But that's
Censored.
the only downside. That's the only saving grace of not having it automatically in your bags is the immersion factor. That's the only defense I have, and the only offense I think anyone will have.
Yeah, I just feel as though you should be able to continue fighting versus having to go and loot bags.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
I do agree with you. I was just playing devil's advocate.
How much of a mechanic change do you need to make that work? That's the other problem.
Not much. I mean, they already have stuff that goes straight to your bag, I think, so it's not really an issue.
Well,
they could just tweak it like that.
Do that as well.
I mean, or you could find a good partner. Like, I know the first beta weekend, that's what Tristan and I were doing. We were sitting on a cannon, defending our keep on this one bridge, just shelling it, and we'd switch out. Tristan would be like, all right, I'm going to go down there, and he'd just run around and start picking up stuff, like he was picking flowers, grabbing bags or whatever, and I would keep shooting and keep my and then we'd... Exactly, and then we'd switch off, and that worked pretty well. I guess maybe it's another level of strategy. I don't know, but having automatic loot would definitely be nice, especially with the cannon, because unless they tweak it, if you use it well, like Tristan and I got used to it, you could just keep killing over. I mean, there was loot bags just piled up on the bridge there. I mean, it was a little ridiculous. So.
It's one of the best choke point siege weapons. Like if bridge is attacking that, it's fantastic.
Yep.
Yeah.
Works out really well. So, all right. Well, you've got your. Let's see here. Oh, siege weapons. When you go, this is one of the things. This is like a strategy that I want people to know about because I feel like it's very important. When you're attacking a giant keep, not a tower. Although towers work too, but you have the option to, and this also fit. Okay, hold on. Let me rephrase. You can through buying it, you can reinforce your supply camps and your towers and your keeps. What are your options? When you have a supply camp, you can give it an escort. Very good, because it's harder for them to just kill this little Dolyak that walks around and they can just beat on it and it doesn't have an escort. But if there's an escort, they're gonna give one person can't take it down. Then you can also upgrade your towers with oil pits, reinforced walls, reinforced doors, archers, more guards. So basically, if they kill the guards, they spawn again in like 20 minutes if they haven't broken in. And other things like that. And for the keep, it's the same kind of stuff as well. Now, let's say you get to a tower, and the last people that took that tower were, they didn't have that much money. And they were like, well, we can reinforce one thing. We'll reinforce the gate. Okay, when you guys show up at that tower, please, for God's sake, aim your catapults at the walls. The walls will go down faster than a reinforced door. So if they haven't reinforced the walls, go for it. Now, on that same note, if you're hitting a keep, hit 2 points. It is so much harder for them to repair 2 points than it is for them to repair 1. And they only have to focus on your catapults and your right. And it splits their group and it keeps your group organized. So that's just something I wanted to throw out there, because it drives me crazy when you see one attack point and then everybody rushes through, everybody dies, re-reses, and does it all again. If you just opened up the right point, you could have gotten in. One of the great times to do it is, sorry, I'm going to keep talking. One of the great times for you to do this is when you bust the wall open, they're not paying attention to the guys outside the keep anymore. So that's a great time to hop on all the extra ballistas that everybody just demanned so they can go fight, man those, and start hitting another wall, because they're not going to defend it.
One of the things I also wanted to point out, you'll see some of the keeps where the door will be here, and then the keep will actually branch off like that, and you can actually attack these points as well. That means your range can actually be even farther back with all of these siege weapons. So you can be even farther range out of the weapons of all of the defenders and still hit on these 2 points instead of bottlenecking all the way up here, and then everyone's just mass AoE destruction.
Because they're all standing on the walls,
Yeah, it's not going to be as effective as if you attack those 2 points from an even farther even because they will have to come out to you, and it makes an even more even playing field and will actually be more efficient for the attackers. It's this game, you can zerg all you want, you can play small tactics all you want, but strategy. It's just as much about strategy as it is manpower.
Yeah. Yep. Which is why joining a guild like Arcanix at alttabme.com would be good, because we're going to have lots of strategies going in there. We're going to have a lot of organization. Apply. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
You were saying, Damien?
No, I was, now you made me lose my point now.
Oh.
I think you're going to find that the guilds that do really well are going to be the guilds that actually pay attention to strategy and don't just go giant zerg rush all the time, and that's their only trick. The guys that have got small forces out there taking control of neutral camps and taking control of supply depots and destroying supply lines and backdooring keeps and, trying to break inside without anybody noticing and going and attacking their home ground as opposed to the middle ground, so that it draws attention away, and using all of those tactics to manipulate your enemy is going to be much more effective if you do that, as opposed to just zerging, which we're not really seeing in the beta weekends because there's not as much, it doesn't last as long. So I think people are just going for the Zerg option because it's easy in beta weekends and no one cares.
So if you're in a guild, what's the benefits of taking over, what's the benefits of organizing and then taking over a tower?
You get to represent.
Yes. The representing feature is very nifty. It's very hard to call it efficient, it's very hard to call it amazing, but it's the small things that can really make the difference. When a guild takes over a keep, they can claim it. When they claim it, depending on how they spend their influence, I mentioned the influence purchases in a different podcast. You can look it up later. I'll explain it to you personally. There's the Art of War category that has fort buffs. Those are literally the keep buffs and everything like that when you claim. They can be 5% experience, plus 40 fortitude for everyone, plus 40 power for everyone, and that works for everyone defending this keep, all the allies, not just the guild, but everyone that's defending that keep for that server. And these buffs can be really handy. I mean, if you want to say drop a experience buff, a karma buff, a gold buff, a magic find buff, and stay in that keep and defend, say you have a lot of attackers at that, and bam, you have that buff, you're all going to get out that much richer out of it too if you're defending it for a long time. And plus with all the attack buffs and everything, it's just it'll just give you that edge that sometimes you might need to say work with a slight outnumbering or just keep a little bit more organized.
That works, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see here.
Exactly.
I got this.
You got it. We've covered a lot. We've covered siege weaponry.
Yeah.
Have we covered how to, I mean, the construction of siege weaponry is you buy a plan from your beginning area or from... Can you buy it at Keeps? I believe you can.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
The blueprints. You'll actually find blueprint vendors at some of the places that you take over. So owning some of these zones, you'll have access to the merchants.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like Stone Mist, the major keep in the middle of the Eternal Battlegrounds, which is that center map. That has you can buy blueprints from the vendor in there. But that's like the major keep that if you control that, you are seriously dominating.
Yeah, it gives you the most points. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh, you mind if I just throw out a topic there, Tristan?
Go for
Take
it.
this off your back a little bit. Orb of Power. That's something we
yes.
haven't brought up yet. That's a pretty big
yeah.
mechanic for World v World. The Orb of Power. Each territory technically owns one Orb of Power. And you can steal these Orbs of Power from the other teams. By owning these orbs, you gain a 5% health boost for everyone in World v World on your server. So if you go around stealing these orbs from the other territories and you have all 3 orbs, you're sitting at a 15% health boost for everyone on your server, and that's a pretty big advantage in such a massive combat scenario. That's a lot of fun. We had a situation where we were trying to defend our Orb of Power, and we probably had 5-6 guildies hanging out in World v World, and we got steamrolled by about 75 red invaders that did not turn out well. We got wrecked.
It's not pretty.
Yeah, they got our Orb of Power pretty quick.
Yeah, but the thing is that when you steal someone's Orb of Power, they can see you on the map. They can see that Orb of Power moving, so they can go after you and go, right, we need to take that back. And there's a whole metagame around that, controlling those Orbs of Power and getting away with it scot free, and it's like capture the flag almost in sort of your classic, player versus player type games. So that's a really cool aspect, I think.
For the people asking for capture the flag, there you go.
Yeah,
True,
and it's
yeah.
three-way capture the flag,
which is hard.
so hard.
You've got a lot of this taking things like visceral objects, like a Orb of Power that gives you a boost while you're playing. You have, taking keeps, taking towers, taking supply lines. How visceral does it feel when you take a tower? Why should I take a tower? Why should I take a keep?
I mean, I
Who gives a
high
fuck?
five myself when I take shit.
Other than okay, so
like,
that's
yeah.
no, but that makes that's great. But let's say 10 weeks down the line, 3 months down the line, why do I want to take a tower? Why do I want to take the keep anymore? Isn't it just boring at that point? I'm totally leading this at you, Bruce. I know the answer, but Bruce has the answer.
Oh, I felt bad because I was kind of... John hasn't been talking. I was going to throw this one.
Oh, unless John, you want it. John, you want to take it? I know you know it too.
Go ahead, Bruce. You're chomping at the bit over there. So, go ahead.
Well, again, there's a few different reasons why you want these keeps. One is the point system that I touched upon before. By having more territory, you get the point systems for the server boosts. Another thing is for the strategy. Think of like a game of Risk. You know, you'll have all these choke points, you have all these areas that you really want to control, but you have to go step by step by step. You can't just be sporadic all over the world. You see these things, they move in waves. I mean, it's not just we're going to go take this point over here, and then we're going to take this point over here, and then no, it's like a living force that you see going through these maps. You'll see the maps start to distort and rotate depending on the power switches.
No, but my question though is simpler than this. My question is way simpler. Why do we want to take the keep every day? Why do we want the tower every day? Why should I go into WvWvW every day?
I think you're going to have a little bit of server pride in that, like, you know, you want your server to be on top. You want to be the ones who are winning. You want to be like, yeah, our server's the best, right? We're beating all of our opponents. We're steamrolling people, because we're organized and we're really good at this sort of thing. So you're going to have an element of that, I think, just as like, sort of wearing that server badge with pride, sort of thing.
Which leads into the idea that when you take a tower and you take a keep and you put your guild banner on it, which, by the way, our guild is Arcanix. You can apply at alttabme.com. When you put your banner on it, what happens is that everyone in that area, I'm not sure if it applies to the whole 4 zones, but I know specifically that in that area, that zone, will get whatever influence points you have put into your guild's structure. Influence points was touched on in podcast number 2.
It's a
2. It was we talked about influence points for guilds in number 2. So for a more in-depth thing, check that one out. But basically, what it is that we have picked certain perks that our guild wants, and when we take that tower, everyone in the area now has our hard work. So if we picked some cool perks and we're farther ahead, people are going to want to help us defend our tower. So it's not just a pride thing. It actually helps you to progress.
Yeah. But you're also going to have that element of you don't want to be the guild who lost their keep or who lost that outpost that was representing your banner. Because you're just like, oh man, we totally lost that. And like, you feel really bad, and you'd be like, we got to take it back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
That just reminded me of when we were playing. We took over a keep. We didn't have any perks or anything, but probably a good 10 minutes, and they took it right back. You feel terrible. Like, oh man. Yeah, you put 2 hours into gaining this thing, and then all of a sudden you get steamrolled and rushed, and it's gone in 10 minutes.
When you take a keep, you've got to repair it so that it's defensible again. Like if you smash through the gate and through the wall and you've broken this stuff, you've got to then spend the supply to fix the wall and put the gate back together and stuff like that.
I'm pretty sure once it's taken over, everything is rebuilt to full.
Yeah,
all the NPCs switch.
Yeah, everything switches and goes back to full.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure.
I'll shut up then.
Yeah, the NPCs switch over, everything repairs, the upgrades disappear, so you got to go through and upgrade it again. But obviously,
that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. The upgrades reset so you can buy your upgrades that you want to go with first or whatever to help defend the keep or whatever. So
Damien's in Australia. Things for him happen a lot. Like, it takes a little bit more time for him to get the upgrades and everything.
Everything's upside down here. I mean, come on.
Toilets
backwards
the
over
other
there.
direction.
I was gonna say our toilets swirl in the other direction, and it's weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah, we audibly crackle in the sun.
Hey, we're potty mouths again.
I've been really good.
Toilets.
You have been really good.
Really good.
Yeah.
I haven't said fuck once.
Been really well behaved.
Damn it.
You said it twice now.
Shit! I said fuck. Fuck! I said shit. I didn't want to be a goddamn nun anyway. So there's a couple more points I want to touch on here. John and I think had the most experience in this. Is that when we were in World v World, the number one important thing that I think we could tell people is know what the effects look like. Know what the lava looks like.
Stand in the fire.
Don't. It's exactly. It's like Molten Core 101. Fucking Anixia 101. Don't stand in the fire. John, go ahead.
It's like times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except it's like times 100. You have all kinds of spells and effects going on, and and like we said before, don't get discouraged with World v World, because at first you're not going to notice what the hell's going on. You're going to walk up there and you're going to be like, holy shit, because there's going to be, there you go, there's going to be stuff flying around everywhere, different color stuff, butterflies, all fire, all kinds of stuff. But once you start to learn what's going on and where spells are going down and where AoE spells are going down, you'll be able to dodge it, you'll be able to avoid it, you'll know what it does, etc., and it'll be like second nature again. You'll be able to move through the battle and flow through the battle, and it'll work a lot better for you. But definitely learn that stuff. Even if you want to set aside and go look at videos now or whatever and see what class does what or whatever, definitely you got to learn all that stuff. That's going to help you a lot. So
the biggest thing to learn, if you see a white outline on the ground, that's for you. If you see a red outline on the ground, that's not for you. That's the simplest way to learn. Yeah, red is bad. That's that when you see an arrow cart, arrow barrage flying down, it will be in a red circle. Don't stand in the red circle.
Something really cool too.
I'm still hoping they.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm hoping they bring in a colorblindness option, because I'm colorblind.
Oh.
So
that sucks.
So like the red circle. If I'm not looking for the red circle, I won't see the red circle. Whereas for everybody else, oh, that's a red circle, I won't go stand in that. So I have to be really careful to not accidentally stand in red stuff that kills me. So that's red. I can see that's red. Thanks.
Sorry.
I believe they actually.
I don't see a grayscale.
I believe they talked about that. I think they're going to add something for colorblind people. So I don't know when. I know a dev mentioned it in one of the podcasts somewhere, but I believe they're going to add something just like they had in other games like Warcraft, etc. So
well, actually, you know why Blizzard does things very vibrant colors and everything? It's because one of the heads came to one of the designers early on, and when they were like a 6-man team, and they said, dude, I'm colorblind and I can't see the difference between what you just did. And so from that day on, Warcraft series and all that stuff, it had really vibrant colors for that reason.
Vibrant colors, yeah.
It was so that their friend could see it. That was why it happened. So, little spoiler there.
Yeah, when you consider that you've got 1 in 10 Caucasian males has colorblindness, then that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So
all dogs are colorblind. What about the dogs? Let's think about the dogs who are playing Guild Wars 2.
My dog, who's going to play and wants to be in World v World, is going to be like, I can't see anything. I don't understand what's going on.
Anyways, okay, we strayed a little bit.
So what I want to do, I'm getting a ton of people that want to ask questions. So you know what? We could keep talking about this for hours, but you know what? Let's go right to the Q&A. I think it's a good time for it.
Cool.
Here is our first question. Do you think there should be a cap on how many golems you can craft in World v World? I think what this guy is referencing is the Team Legacy made at the end of the last beta weekend, I believe 100 or more golems, and they rolled everything. You know what? I don't think there should be a cap, and there's a reason for this. It takes golems so long to get from point A to point B that the viability of what they did, if there was organization and it wasn't just a bunch of random people running around because it's beta and trying to go from one keep to the next, I think you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Like Bruce just said, it's really expensive, and we all would rather pay for cool outfits and pretty pets and stuff.
And these fights aren't going for 20 hours; they're going for 2 weeks. So it's not really.
Yeah. So they took it for a day, and it cost us how much gold?
Man.
So I don't think so.
It's a gold for every golem. I believe that's the blueprint. It takes 100 supply, which that's 10 people running supplies for a single golem, or one guy going back and forth 10 times. You're gonna run out of money. You're gonna run out of supplies, and
you're gonna destroy your chances of fighting everything else. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
it's a cool stunt, but logistically, it's just not viable. I mean, in terms of supplies and gold, you don't want to do that in a 2-week battle.
Yeah, and when you consider that supply takes time to regenerate, so if you empty out a supply depot, you've got to go to a different supply depot, which might be further away, and that's going to become harder and harder and harder to maintain at any reasonable level.
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool, definitely. But it's not viable.
Yes.
What are current rewards for World v World? Experience, rep, items, currency. How do the rewards apply to the rest of the game experience? For example, can you use PvP currency to buy PvE-centric gear or to get PvE rewards, or is the PvP gear useful in PvE, etc., etc.?
Mm-hmm.
That was a long question.
Because you get XP. You get XP because you level up.
There you go.
So you'll gain XP from fighting things and defending stuff and doing that. You also get karma, which can be used to buy PvE gear, some of which you can buy inside World v World, but you can also buy it from heart vendors, from doing stuff in doing PvE content and other vendors in capital cities. So yeah, I mean, the rewards that you get from, and also you get gold from killing people and getting loot and all that sort of thing. So you're getting all the rewards you would normally get from PvE in Guild Wars 2, you can get in World v World.
Yeah, that about sums it up. How important is it to know the abilities of other classes? Do you need to know what animations to look for, or just know to run when you see a warrior, guardian, ranger?
Always run from me, the ranger.
I think that just like we said with
from the fiery doom of the elementalist.
Just like we said with the the white and red circles and the different siege weapon explosive clouds of stuff. You should be recognizing the skills of all classes as well. And a really easy way to do that is just play through level 10 on each class, and it's actually pretty fun. So try it out.
Yeah.
Or just get to level 1 and PvP with it for a little bit. Yeah. Go into the mists and just cast all their stuff.
To dodge.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can dodge out of all siege attacks.
Podcast. Learn to dodge.
All siege attacks, though. It's important.
I cannot stress that enough. My God, learn to dodge. Especially with skills that have a long wind-up. So you can just dodge the hell away from it, and they use that cooldown, and it just did nothing to you because you rolled out of the way.
Yeah, and it's extremely important when a giant catapult is coming your way. If you see it about to hit you, you should probably move away from the giant ball of fire.
Yeah.
So, all right.
That's gonna hurt a lot.
Pro tips right here.
Yep.
Exactly.
Is World v World going to be a viable way of leveling up your character? We already did that. Oh, but the second part we didn't talk about. Will leveling in World v World be slower than leveling through PvE? It will be the same speed, or so they're trying to balance it that way. Right now, PvE is a little faster, just because obviously you get experience for taking things like castles, keeps. You get experiences for defending things. You get experience for killing things. You're not going to kill things as fast in PvP, and sometimes your server sucks. So and especially as now when they're trying to balance out the servers, which we chatted about. Sometimes one server will dominate, and you'll just be getting experience for killing, and there won't be any defend attack objectives. So as of now, PvE. As of release, we're hoping it'll be here. This is what they say they're trying for. I don't know what the hell you guys are doing right now. Oh, okay. Is that what you were saying that whole time? We're getting there? Wacky, crazy, inflatable orb people!
Dirt beast coach over there.
Billy Tube Man.
Brian. Oh,
exactly.
Whatever.
Brian, I'm a stripper.
Every
time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Will you guys be playing the same profession builds in World v World as you do in SPVP, or will your playstyle be changing depending on the type of PvP you're engaging in? I know Tristan mentioned liking the Elementalist in SPVP, but less so in World v World. Do you think this will be true for other professions and other people? Okay, that's basically it.
Yeah, that's
Long questions.
The build I have on my class, the build I have on my class, the Ranger, I love my build for everything. It may not be the perfect, viable, elitist, whatever build, but you know what? I have fun in all three, in PvP, in SPVP, World v World, and PvE. I love that build for everything I do. Like I said, it may not be the best one, but you know what? I have fun doing it, and screw being amazing.
No, you know what? Can I just say something on that topic? It's something that bothers the crap out of me. Is that everybody always goes to the forums and like, what's the best build? And you know what? World of Warcraft, there was the best build. Guess what, guys? This is Guild Wars 2. The best build is the build that makes you happy. Okay? Yes, if you have a shit crap build and you're not helping in World v World, you're not going to get a guild. You're not going to get on the competitive teams. But there are so many traits and so many different things that you can play with, like such as if you take falling damage. World v World sound like jumping off of a keep to you? If you take fall damage, you cast some sort of a magical thing, depending on your profession. This is all very much based on how you play, how your play style is. So build a build that's fun. It's World v World. It's not like, you know, it's not a tournament. Have some fun. These things last for a while. I don't like when people get pissed at you. They're like, no, that's not the right build. It's wrong. You have dropped fall damage. That's useless. Who cares?
The other thing is, you can fuck you. My Mesmer casts Chaos Storm when I hit the ground after falling on something. Shut up.
That's a way to be right there.
Yeah.
That's
the
fun.
other thing is you can change it on the fly. So it's not like you have to, like, you do the build and you're like, oh, you know, I gotta make sure I get this right because I'm gonna be stuck in World v World and I can't do anything about it and I'm just gonna be fighting with the same shit over and over again. You know, if you're out of combat, you can switch your utility skills out and you can change your trades, refund your trades. So you can just decide what you want to do on the fly. I mean, not to deviate too much, but the perfect example is our Catacombs run. I was switching up stuff on the fly all the time until I found what worked best. Yeah. I mean, and that's what you can do. That's one of the great things about the game. So you can get in there and go, this build sucks. I hate it. I am doing horrible. You can sit there at the waypoint and like theory craft right there and switch stuff around and then go try something else.
Or you can even be you could be on top of the keep and you could go, wow, this is not giving me the bonus that I need. You look at your major traits and you go, click, 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 done. Go fight. Simple as that.
As long as you're out of combat.
Exactly.
As long as you're out of combat,
So
yes.
nice. I love that.
So, all right. Anyway, moving on, because we could go on for hours on that one. What are the benefits of your guild capturing a keep besides to put up a banner? We already mentioned that. That's basically whatever you have put influence points into. Everybody in the zone now gets those with you. So hopefully they will want to help you defend it.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it seems like you get things like XP buffs and gold buffs and karma buffs and stuff for defending and attacking and all that sort of thing. So it is really useful. It's not just like one thing.
Does it seem like smaller forces will be able to hold off much larger forces in a keep siege? I think yes. I think through tactics, which it's very tactical, you could do that. Oh, go. Yes, but go.
I mean, it's yes with a caveat. I mean, obviously, if they come in with siege weapons and they're just going crazy on you, well, then it doesn't matter how good a defensive force you are with 10 people. They've got 100 people and they're just smashing you. That's just going to be the way it is. But if they're ill prepared, or if you're really well prepared, like if that keep if it's been reinforced and it's got extra guards and you've got siege weapons all lined up and you're all ready to roll, then sure, they're going to have a real hard time cracking you. At which time you can be saying through your sort of server chat, hey guys, we're getting really smashed in this keep, come help us out. And they can come in from behind those those attacking forces, and suddenly you're crushing them between your walls and your other attacking force, and so you can hold out for a really long time if you got the right preparation.
Sorry, I took that in a sexual way. Anyway, also I'm really looking forward to the day when our guild, Arcanix, alttabme.com, goes together on a keep, and it's getting hammered. Their siege weapons are beating it, but they only have, like, let's say 20 guys, but we have 5. Okay, what do? Most people in a pug will be like, I'm gonna sit here on the wall and I'm gonna until the thing is over. Are you making fun of me? Because I'm gonna punch you.
No. That was actually just my interpretation of some pug. I'm a pug. This is what I do.
So that's exactly it.
Imagine some scrub.
But what I want to do is I want to get people together, and I want to say, okay, everybody, out of the keep from the back. Now let's circle around and hit them. They're all focusing on the keep, which you're going to lose if you stand in it because you can't reach them. So go out of the keep, sneak up around them, and push. I think people are also afraid of that because they're afraid that they have to respawn and run back, but whatever.
It doesn't take that long.
No.
The other thing I want to point out is, say, we've talked a lot about breaking the walls and breaking the gates. There isn't always just one gate either. There's like in one of the other zones, there's actually an underwater set passage that you can break through. There's a lot of other entry points that actually, ArenaNet tells you, hey, you can go this way too. There isn't always just the one option. There isn't always the walls and the gates. There's the underwater passages. There's all this other things that you should really I'm not saying go out and research, but explore in some of these places too. I mean, this is another giant part of the world that they really want you to explore.
Yeah.
Don't just get so single-minded of, we always have to do the keep, we always have to get that. Look around. You may find a separate entryway that other people might not even know about yet.
And that's a legitimate strategy too. Yeah. You got 20 guys outside their keep harrying away, and then you send a force of 50 guys in through this underground thing, and suddenly they're like, oh god, where did all these enemies come from? They're inside our walls, and you just throw them into disarray because now you're inside and you're messing them up. So, I mean, that's something that's really viable too.
Yeah, that's one of the things I really want to get our guild to do is don't always go the mainstream way. Try some of these back doors.
Don't go the obvious way.
Try some of these different entrance ways. That's something that you can do with 5-10 people, and I'm sure we'll have more than 10 people, but it's just one of those things where you have to approach it with.
We don't have anybody in our guild. We just talk about it because we hope somebody joins.
Well, that's the great thing about World v World. I'm looking forward not only to our guild rolling together and maybe gathering pugs as we go through the world along the way. Yeah. I'm looking forward to guild interaction. Our guild interacting with 2 or 3 other big guilds already in World v World, and being able to do those things and flank people, et cetera, take extra, take the back door or whatever and go through, et cetera. So that's going to be a lot of fun once everyone gets organized. So
very exciting.
Yeah, definitely. And it might be a case of like we own Arcanix controls one keep, and we've got another guild that are trying to take something else. We go, look, we'll help you out so that you can take it and you can claim that, and that's yours. So then there's more bonuses going out for your server because there's more guilds controlling more keeps and things like that. So even that's because I'm pretty sure you can only control one. So like you can only represent on one keep. Yeah. So helping then other guilds get theirs means that they're going to be like, well, they helped us out, so they're getting smashed right now. So let's go help defend their keep because we know they're going to do the same for us. Yeah. And it's going to be that whole cooperative thing with your server.
That's the thing. That's the important thing to remember. I mean, rolling as a guild and being able to plaster your banner on that giant keep over there and stand on the walls and laugh at people is great, but ultimately it's for the server. So you gotta being able to work with those other guilds is going to be amazing when everybody comes together and everything moves together as one big machine, I guess. So
this is a great question because we didn't actually talk about it. Is there a PvE element to World v World?
Yes, very much so. I mean, those neutral keeps And I mean, the fact that there's explorable mini dungeons like there are in the PvE world that are in World v World, and some of those are amazing.
We don't want to spoil them though.
During the last beta weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not gonna spoil them because I haven't spoiled them for myself yet because this guy couldn't get me there. Anyway.
Sorry.
No, but they look really cool. There's a lot of jumping puzzles. The parts of it are like other players can get in it in the opposite, like, and they can be using parts of the dungeon to stop you from getting through the dungeon. So it's very interesting. It has a PvP aspect to it as well as being a PvE oriented thing.
Yeah.
And
I mean, there are little
to throw this
camps
out
of
there real
neutral
quick,
people.
there are also the skill point challenges too that you they just added out in the last beta weekend. There are a lot of people that complained, oh, you know, I want to level fully in World v World, but I have to go into the PvE to find these skill points. Well, there are skill points now in World v World that will at least say, hey, oh my god, I only need one more point for the skill that this might be really helpful. Oh, look, there it is in that keep. Let's go take that keep so I can get my skill point. You know, that's one thing we did in last beta. It's like, we really want that keep because we really want that skill point.
How durable were the siege weapons? Did they decay over time? How long would it take a single player to take down a trebuchet or a catapult?
They were think of the physical numbers.
I don't think they decayed.
Undefended, not that long.
It took like maybe 3 people beating on it for about a minute.
Yeah, they're pretty fragile. Yeah. They're not too hardy. So you have to defend them obviously when you're using them.
But they don't decay over
Take
time.
many hits from players.
No, they do not decay over time.
So if you forget to take down, So if you took the keep and you forgot to take down their attacking, and then they take. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You all know what I'm saying. Basically, if you forget to take down their stuff and they somehow get back into that position, they can reuse it.
Right.
Yeah.
It's going to stay there.
It's persistent until it's destroyed.
Until it's destroyed,
Blah 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 blah.
So defend your stuff. That's important.
Yeah.
I'm just going through these. A lot of questions because I guess World v World is a big topic here.
I'm just going to do a quick shout out here for Absalom. We appreciate a lot of the questions that you gave us. We'll talk to you a little bit more. We did want to give a shout out to you. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to you a little bit further. I have something a little bit for you, and sorry we didn't give you the beta key, but you did help us a lot. So send me a message, and I got a little something for you.
Yeah, if there was a second place, you would have come in second place easily.
Easily.
There's some fluffy kittens in it for you.
Which professions are good to pair up in duos or in groups? All of them?
I think
that's a good question. Almost anything, any combination.
It really depends on your spec.
Yeah, there's a lot of synergy builds that I'm starting to see right now on the forums. There's a lot of people that are taking 2 classes and trying to build them so they interact with each other better. This goes into a whole other theory craft, and that's a lot to talk about for this small time frame. If anyone has anything
specific,
it's like
another podcast.
That alone could be an entire podcast.
That aspect,
we might touch more on it in the SPVP, but like for the skinny of it is that everybody can play support, everybody can play damage, and everybody can play ranged.
Utility. Yeah.
Control,
stuff like that. So basically, it really depends on what they've decided to do with their class. So, how big are World v World matches, and what faction rewards for taking part? No, we already answered that. Hold on. Let's just go with how big are World v World matches?
As big as you want them to be.
Huge.
Well, not quite.
How many people can fight?
Yeah, true.
I did throw the numbers out there real quick earlier. You have the 4 servers, 1 for each home and the internal. each server has a maximum of 500 people, and that doesn't mean one server can go in with 500 people. It's all split up 133, 134.
Let me
each
fix you
server.
for a
So
second. 3 servers, 4 zones.
Yes, I did say that, right?
Yeah.
I
No,
said
you said 4
one for each
servers.
home and
You said 4 servers.
Yeah.
Oh, I did.
4
Oh,
servers.
whoops, my bad. That was a mind slip. But overall, at one time, if every server is full, if everyone has everyone in there, 2,000 people. That's
Wow.
the
So
maximum
big.
Yeah.
cap. Yeah,
That's
that,
big.
it's pretty big. Yeah.
Maybe you could tell us about the point of World v World. Like, do we need to capture certain areas, or what? Hold on. We were yes, you have to capture certain points. We talked about that in great detail. How will ArenaNet servers handle the massive amount of players all at the same time?
Let's hope they
They're
do.
pretty good, from my experience.
I don't know.
They've been doing pretty well
Yeah.
so far, so
Bandwidth?
Yeah.
I mean, hopefully it'll be alright.
I mean, when I can have 200 people on my screen and there's particle effects going everywhere and the server doesn't explode, I'd say they're doing pretty good.
Really
Yeah.
big Cat 5 cables? I don't know, man. Does ArenaNet have anything in mind for underpopulated servers that are going to get destroyed? Did we talk about that?
Oh,
Yes.
we did.
Yes.
Oh, let me go about this real quick. You remember in WoW, you played Wintergrass and the tenacity buff. Say you had 2 versus 50 people, and all of a sudden you had these guys that were like monster, rage boss, powerful. It's not like that. They don't try to equalize World v World. What they do is that they give you benefits for rewards if you're on an underpopulated server or you're outnumbered. They increase your gold gain, your experience gain, and your magic find gain. That's one thing we haven't talked about much and is awesome for all you gamblers out there. They give you like somewhere between 25 and 33% buffs for the people that are
Yeah.
that they're underpopulated or they're outnumbered. So you are going to have to work harder, but you're going to get rewarded for it too. I mean, it's not like you're just going to get slapped in the face of, oh, you had a big challenge and you got the same reward as the other team that raffle stomped you. No, you're going to get rewarded, and that's awesome. They're not trying to make it. World v World is not their balance. That's their biggest thing. We're not balancing for World v World. What's going to happen has happened. Numbers are too big, and it's just astronomical. But if it's going to be difficult for you, you should get rewarded for it. And that's one of the best philosophies ArenaNet has. You get out what you put in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's 20% magic find, 33% experience, and 33% karma rewards
There you go.
for being outmanned. And it's called the outmanned buff. So you'll see it on your little buff tab there. It'll say outmanned. It'll tell you what you get. So it's really nice. We had that in the last beta weekend with one of our
That's
matchups.
significant.
We were getting outmanned
That's a
and getting that. It was
significant
really nice.
So, also, I think we talked about it a little bit, but let's say that you're still getting outmanned and outgunned even with these buffs. After one season or set of battle with these guys, I think is it every 24 hours? Every 24 hours, it looks at who you're fighting and it resets it with other servers that are more equally matched to you.
That's every 2
No, the
weeks.
fights go for 2
That's
weeks.
Every
Every
2.
2
I'm
weeks.
sorry. Okay, well they sped it up for the beta, so it confused me.
It was 20
They did
hours.
speed it up for the beta, yes.
Sorry.
But when
It was
it
20 hours
launches,
per fight.
they are 2 weeks long.
Okay, so it's a 2-week
2 weeks
span.
long.
So after 2 weeks and
Yeah.
after a couple months, everything should be pretty evened out on the servers.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Sorry.
But I mean, 2 weeks of 20% magic find, 33% experience, and 33% karma. That's pretty incredible. If you're
Yeah,
getting
that's
that buff
pretty
for that
huge.
entire 2-week period, that's a
Yeah.
nice buff. Yeah.
Okay, let me take. Hold on. I think let's just do like 1 or 2 more, and then we'll wrap it up.
All right.
Alright.
Cool.
Have either of you guys played Age of Camelot or Warhammer online? If so, how does World v World compare to RVR in these games? I think John's played World v World. I mean, Warhammer.
Yeah, I did play some Warhammer. I had high hopes for that game. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. But how does it? It's similar in that it's a 3-way battle, but Warhammer World of World was set up where you had 6 different races, 3 on each side, and you had 6 different RVR lakes. So someone could just go. I mean, we just trade off keeps basically. You'd have, and it wasn't that many people in the RVR lakes. You'd have an army go to one RVR lake, take all the keeps, get the bonuses, and instead of fighting, everyone would just go to the other RVR lake and take all those keeps, and then you just switch back and forth. In here, like we stated, there's 4 maps and there's 3 servers. Each server sort of starts out with, they have green lands, blue lands, red lands, or whatever, and then you have the eternal battlegrounds in the middle. And you sort of, correct me if I'm wrong, but you start out with your own lands, like, intact.
Yes.
You hold everything there to begin with, so you start in the eternal battlegrounds. So when you go in, all 3 servers are funneled basically into eternal battlegrounds, and that's where you start, and you can filter out to the other maps and everything, but you're not literally running halfway across the world, outside in the world, and taking, just switching off keeps back and forth. I mean, you're going to run into conflict, and you're going to run into battles, unlike Warhammer, which is, we never actually had many battles. That was the unfortunate part of it, because everyone would just trade off keeps, and, you never got to actually have RVR. It was unfortunate, but that's the way it worked out. And I think it's not going to be like that in Guild Wars. I mean, you're going to end up with these massive clashes, especially with the way the point system are. I don't know if we mentioned that, but you have resource camps, towers, keeps, and Stone Mist Castle in the Eternal Battlegrounds, which is a huge castle. And that's worth the most points. It's 50 points, and you score every 5 minutes. Resource camps are worth 5, towers are worth 10. I believe keeps are 25 and Stone Mist is 50, and you get those points every 5 minutes. So you're going to want to go for the keeps, and you're going to want to go for Stone Mist. That's where we were always fighting in the beta weekends. You're going to want to go for that 50 point. That's 50 points every 5 minutes for your server. So if you can hold that for a couple of hours, I mean, geez, all that points right there is just ridiculous. So you're definitely going to be totally different from Warhammer. Warhammer doesn't even compare, unfortunately.
And can you imagine guild repping Stone Mist? How amazing would that be?
Yes.
To be the guild that controls that.
I mean,
that is bragging rights to the max.
Oh yeah,
that's
2 tiers of walls and a huge castle you can see from all the way on the other side of the map. That's gonna be awesome.
Oh yeah,
pretty epic.
I'm gonna get excited.
Arcanix controls that.
Arcanix?
Exactly.
What's Arcanix?
Was that Arcanix? Our guild one? Altemi.com.
Oh, okay.
That's
Apply
right.
today.
They
Okay.
rock.
Just curious.
Yeah.
Apply, definitely.
Limited
Terrible
slots.
Terrible pitch, but it's alright.
That was bad. It was bad. Okay, last question. Can you name your coolest experience while in World v World? Mine, I think I already mentioned with the fireballs raining down, but I think the second one, if I were to nail that, is the amount of times I'd be fighting a battle at a tower or something, and I was attacking, and I'd be like, okay, attacking, yay, we're doing well, and then I'd hear, run, and I was like, what? And I would turn, and just thousands of red names are coming over this random hill, and I'm just like, son of a bitch, and you just run, and you die, and you just see them rolling over your body while you're dead, and it's an epic moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Run, Forrest.
Zachus, how about you? What's one of your...
That is definitely one of my favorite moments, especially when we're doing that, because we almost get tunnel vision sometimes, and, we're fighting at the keep, and then all of a sudden somebody just says, oh, crap, and you turn around, and there's literally a whole army coming over the hill, like legions of one server, and sometimes it was both servers. There's a couple times we got stuck in the middle of both servers, which was horrible. You start running one way, and then you go over the bridge, and there's the other server, and you're like, oh no, we're done. But other than that is actually when I tried Necromancer, and I realized you could, with the staff, you have a lot of AoE abilities, and I realized you could swing them up on the wall, and you could hit the people actually standing on the wall. So I had a lot of fun just trying to keep people back off the wall while we assaulted the gate and the walls to try to keep them back and keep our guys kind of safer from getting, rained down by elementalists and things like that. I had a lot of fun just kind of sort of having my own little meta game and playing like wall defense and like whack-a-mole up on the wall. So I had a lot of fun with that.
Whack-a-mole.
What about you, Damien?
Exactly.
I think for me, my two best, my favorite one was the one I already mentioned about the ogre camp, and that was sort of like 40-minute battle of just trying to control this ogre camp. And if you don't know, the mechanics of that is there's a shaman inside the camp, and if you kill him, then basically another shaman takes over, and he's allied with your server. And then all the ogres follow that guy. But if someone else comes in and kills your shaman, then another shaman takes over and allies with them. So there's and those ogres sort of patrol out, and they'll attack supply depots and they'll attack keeps and things, and they're really cool. So we had this massive just back and forth battle. I think at one point it became a 3-way battle. Just trying to take control this one neutral camp, and that was really, really cool. And the other part was the underground stuff that you can get into, and there's just these trap-laden corridors, and being able to break into things like Stone Mist Keep without breaking down a castle. You can just go in like through the dark room and stuff like that, which is amazing. The dark room made me want to cry. It was so good.
How about you, Bruce?
I'm gonna cut you off
yeah.
right here and delve in. And I am going to stroke my EP a little bit here. One of the big things we did before we were playing World v World, was we leveled up our underwater weapons because we wanted to learn some of the abilities. The fun thing was, though, in World v World, I was actually able to I was actually outnumbered 4v1 and ended up going underwater trying to run away from these guys, and they were still following me underwater, and I realized after a little while they weren't attacking me anymore. So this is actually how I found the underwater gate area, is by running away from these guys, and I got blocked off by this gate, and I'm like, frick. But
Bruce running away. Never.
Yeah, well, it happens a lot when you're outnumbered. But
one versus one.
Enough, no, it was 4v1. Shut up. So I actually fought all 4 of these guys, and because I had my underwater weapons leveled, I actually took out all 4 of them, plus having a pet and all that fun stuff. But it was just so nice to see an underwater mechanic actually work, and actually work effectively. That was just my favorite part, was realizing underwater combat is fun. It's just a lot of fun. I'm not even going to number off. It's a lot of fun, and I'm awesome. I'm awesome.
You're okay. All right.
It's so good. It's so good.
I think the last like really cool moment that I forgot to mention is, as a mesmer, you get this reflectability where you can basically turn whoever's in the bubble that you cast, turns all their attacks against them. And while that was great of doing it on like elementalists casting fire and stuff like that, I cast it on a cannon that was almost dead one time, and the cannon shot and blew itself up. Like, it was like one of those cartoons where you shove something down the center, it just splits. It was awesome. I couldn't stop talking about that. So
that was a good moment.
That was big. Yeah, that was fun.
Anyway. So, well, that about wraps it up then for us, guys. Let me just cover a couple things here. Next podcast will be about SPVP. It will be the last chance for you to win a beta key. What you need to do is and remember, this is a head start beta key, not just a normal get into beta weekend 1 key. What you need to do is you need to go into the forum thread that will be listed, win the beta key for podcast number 4. We're on 4. Yeah, okay. Podcast number 4, and you need to leave your what you would like to see in podcast number 5. The topic of podcast number 5. If you pick what topic we use for podcast number 5, beta key for you. If you do not, no beta key for you. As well, you can always come into that forum and you can post questions that you'd like to hear. As you saw, we had a lot of really good contributions this time, and we will be more than happy to answer them as we go on. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you next time.
Yeah.
And apply at alttabme.com. Arcanix. Awesome guild.
Oh, can't forget that.
All right, later.
Too important.
Lame bye.
As you all know, we're kind of like pre-showing right now because we don't start until 5:45. So
Yeah.
that's 10 minutes from now. We just want to make sure everybody gets in the channel and realizes that we are live. L-I-V-E. Whatever, Major Loser. Welcome to Loserville, Population 1U. Yep.
What?
All sisters.
What was that?
You practice.
Whatever,
that
Major
when they come
Loser.
back,
Welcome
don't
to
worry
Loserville, Population 1U.
That is exactly what happens when you have all sisters.
It is. That's you learn this shit, dude. I can braid hair. I can fucking do that shit.
Patty cake, baker's man.
I just realized I said fucking shit already, and we've been like 10 seconds into this thing.
We're not
even to the broadcast.
We haven't even started talking about Guild Wars yet, and I'm already like over my quota.
You've already started, man.
Yeah.
Oh well, we will put the nice little
That's
disclaimer.
excellent.
This show will offend you if you don't like potty language. Blah.
Damn straight.
World v World.
It's making me lag.
How about we talk about some interesting stuff while we wait? So who's excited for the Asura? Raise your hands.
Oh
I wish I had like one of those soundboards right now. Boo! Boo!
Exactly.
Just womp womp.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Womp.
Angry midget rabbit people. I don't need them. No thanks.
Who's excited for the Sylvari?
Do not. Oh yeah.
That would be me. Oh yeah. Totally ready for Sylvari.
Aw, come on, Bruce. Get on the plant people bandwagon.
Invasion of the killer plants.
I'll probably be making a Sylvari Guardian though. If I'm gonna play a Sylvari, that's what I'm gonna do.
That doesn't even make sense.
It's gonna be your guardian.
Right?
Doesn't
I
even
know,
make
right?
sense. It's like
I know.
I've never seen a head of lettuce like protect me.
It protects you from scurvy or other
I was gonna
diseases.
say maybe from scurvy. Yeah, that's about
There's
it.
one badass head of lettuce right there. So,
Oh yeah.
Protects the pirates.
yeah.
Hey, my XSplit hasn't frozen yet. This is a good
you can
sign.
be defender of the vegetable patch.
Sorry, what was that, Tristan?
I said my XSplit hasn't frozen this time. I reinstalled it, and I'm recording locally, so we might actually have a really high version to put out to this time.
Well, that's good because it was annoying last time.
It's like, I gotta record it, then I gotta download it from Twitch, then I gotta re-encode it, then I re-encode it again, and then re-encode it, and then send it and re-encode it.
Lame.
There's way too much re-encoding going on there.
Dude, by the time...
There's a lot of
I'm surprised it wasn't just one fat pixel by the time I was done with it.
It's just one with some color in it.
And a lot of noises.
Just the moving killer.
Something's wrong with
man.
something's wrong with the chat. I can't see the people that are in it, but I know there's people there.
I
They might be talking.
It's weird.
The video was lagging me and it was making me uncomfortable. So I'm sorry. I will not be in the chat like I planned on. But
You make
quality
me
over
uncomfortable.
novelty.
Exactly.
But we have a guildie that will be taking care of all of most of your questions as it goes. As long as he comes online.
Who's doing that?
People are saying that the stream is lagging for them. Hold on. I need to see why.
Okay.
What did you bring?
Just blame me.
And this is
Yeah.
why we're trying a pre-show real quick, so we can work out some kinks before we get going. Trying a pre-show real
Hells
quick.
yeah.
Good job, Bruce. Way to smooth things over.
He doesn't need to talk to do that though. The adorable fluffy kittens do that for him.
Yeah, Tristan, way to screw up my messages of making me all about fluffy kittens. Oh, that guy, he's sneaky.
Everybody else appreciated it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
He's a bit of a ninja.
Anytime you type beard,
He's the
maybe
wisest ninja ever.
maybe it writes that. Who knows?
Forum ninja.
Something's wrong with Twitch right now.
So Twitch is just exploding.
Mm-hmm.
There's too many people watching this channel.
The awesomeness cannot be contained. unfortunately.
I'm just
That's
gonna,
right.
If it's Twitch, there's nothing really we can do. Owned?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Does Owned do this stuff?
I'm testing owned right now to see if it.
See if we can do it on owned.
Yeah.
Every week we have a different setting.
Yeah, it's just every week there's some sort of
Welcome
shenanigans.
to IT.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's how it works, man.
Always.
Just I love the fact that your headset sort of blends into your hair. Did you do that deliberately?
No, but I like it.
It shapes his head.
You should
to the
You should
size
just
of
say
his
yes.
ego
You should
now.
own it.
Well, the stream is back up on Twitch, so let's just pretend.
Okay.
Let's just pretend that it's working.
Oh, okay.
It's the best we can do, really.
Exactly.
They're still getting the stream, right?
Yeah. I'm still recording locally,
For the
so
most
if
part,
it
yeah.
does for some reason fuck up, then we'll still have
You can
it.
just upload it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't you stream via YouTube as well?
I don't think you can stream on YouTube, can you?
I'm pretty sure you can, because I've watched live stuff on YouTube before.
Really?
Yeah.
Is the
I
quality
don't know
good,
how
though?
it works. Yeah, I mean, it was like for a game. It was like streaming a gameplay.
Okay, so they probably used an XSplit or something.
Yeah, probably.
Weird.
But it was being streamed live.
Oh, there's Falkner.
So-
I need to put him as a mod so that he can take questions and stuff.
Faulkner.
Falkner.
Faulkner.
Fuck no!
Makes me think of Captain Falcon from Super Smash Brothers.
Dude, it's all about the free motherfucking
Falcon
hoes.
Punch!
Falcon Punch.
Yeah. And then the Kirby version. Falcon Punch!
Kirby
That's
is such a
pretty
good
good.
character.
Yeah. Kirby was
Oh, man, if
arguably the best character in that game.
If anyone wants to play Smash later, now I want to play. So just, I'll exchange Wii codes with people if they want to play Smash later.
Oh, man.
Just
I don't think I even have Smash anymore.
I don't have
man,
a Wii.
I wish I did.
Last time I was at Anime Boston, I was wrecking people. Now I just want to play
Oh,
because
yeah.
it's been like 3 months since I played Smash.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone
Who do
hates
you
a
play?
Diddy player, so Diddy
Oh, did he come?
and Puff. I'm actually a big Puff player too, and people hate playing against Puff.
Puff
Anyways,
the magic
Alright,
dragon.
okay.
Oh, is it time?
I guess.
I think it's time. I think
It
we're
is
gonna.
time,
I guess-
The walrus said.
So
Yeah, it's time.
it is.
Wow.
It is 4:40, 5:45, 5:45.
5:45.
Wow.